No.
I told them, just put the body underneath the shed. This house has been the family for generations.
No, you
They
put
won't find it
you
there.
put it in
Anyway,
pieces.
hey,
You put it in pieces and you put them everywhere. You don't put them all in the same spot.
That was a critical
Try hard,
mistake.
man. You guys you're trying
mistake.
too hard.
And we're live.
Welcome.
What's going on, everyone? Dusty Auspex, season 5, episode 12.
5 seasons.
5 seasons.
Been doing this for 5 seasons.
Ah, God. Here we go. Yeah, we're almost done season 5 too, right?
Yep.
We got next week's the last one.
Oh, okay.
So
Match
this
number 13.
Yeah, so this week we've got a bunch of stuff happening locally. We're going to be talking about some new kind of not really releases, but kind of like hints at things coming at some point in the near future.
Warhammer Fest.
Warhammer Fest.
Yep, that was a big one.
Yeah, they dumped some goodies. What else we got today?
We're going to talk about the Highlander tournament.
Highlander, yeah.
That's coming up on Saturday.
Saturday.
At the
Saturday.
Canadian Legion. Legion branch number 252, I believe. That's the one on South Osborne, right across from the transit station.
Yes, sir. Cool. Yeah, it should be good. Full house.
For the first time in 4 calendar years, you could best Producer
Huh.
Scott in single combat.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that one soon.
And if you beat him, he owes you a drink.
Yep.
We
think
didn't
it's
talk
cheap
about
drinks.
this.
Can't confirm. Trust me.
Yeah. So, where to start? Let's start with Warhammer Fest.
Yeah, that was just this past weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
Or was it this past weekend or the weekend before?
This past weekend, August
past
18th.
August 18th, okay.
So lots of spicy meatballs got dropped on us. I know there's a few guys locally that are very excited about some of this stuff. Orcs, yeah, we had Rogue Trader Kill Team, pardon me. The Adeptus Titanicus came out, and we also had the Sister's Weapon bundle kind of drop.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's an upgrade kit that you buy or if those are just some of the weapon designs.
I think what they've done is just said, hey, Sisters is coming in 2019 to give you guys an update.
Here's something.
Here are some of what their weapons look like. Here's proof
Then they look
we're-
like everyone
we're
else's
actually
weapons.
working on this.
No, they got the fleur-de-lis or whatever on it.
got
So,
fleur-de-lis,
everywhere.
okay.
so it's a little bit
Just hiding people
thematic.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also there was also that little rumor that dropped the scales. So it looks like there's something NID related.
Yes, I am trying not to get too excited because inevitably I get disappointed and then I have to grab it.
Well, I mean that was the last thing that was shown. That was the last thing that was shown.
Yeah.
So I mean that's 2020-ish, probably.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited.
No,
New
lots
news
of cool
is always
stuff.
good.
So, favorites out of the releases, or out of the like kind of tidbits that were dropped at Warhammer Fest, what's kind of tickling your fancies?
For me, it's going to be the Kill Team Rogue Trader expansion because like the universe of 40K is absolutely huge and there is so much depth and so much they could do with the concept of rogue traders and just those powerful entities running around. And it's a great way to get like little smaller factions, armies that might not merit like a full huge treatment like Tower Necrons or whatever into the universe and give them models that you can get creative with. So seeing that is fantastic for me. I know I showed the picture to my girlfriend and she's like, I need the doggo model. I need the doggo model.
Is that
what do they call those
little
guys?
dog? The
Yeah,
little
there's a
one-
little dog, yeah.
Or the flies? Did you see the fly one? There's
I have not
those
seen
little
the fly
bases
one.
with just flies on them.
Oh,
Well, that's probably
Those
the
are-
Rogue Trader release,
Yeah,
wasn't
that was
it?
the Rogue
Yeah, the
Trader
Rogue
one,
Trader
yeah.
one. Yeah, okay.
There's some pretty cool looking little bit models in there. That's
nice.
Yeah.
So that's
Be good.
definitely
Doggo.
for me.
I need them. Need all of
What do
them.
they call those troops? The cops of the 41st century and the Imperium.
Adeptus Arbites.
Arbites, that's it, the Arbites. Yeah.
They run around with like pistols and shotguns in
Like
41st
stun-
Millennium with.
stun batons, yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're very effective against.
I remember being at a tournament years ago, and a guy had a whole Arbites army. It was a guard conversion army, but it's all Arbites, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Never
Now-
seen it again though. This
Yeah,
was.
now that thing is worth a lot of money in pewter.
Oh yeah. Because those models came out back in 2nd edition, I believe, when Rogue Trader was still going nuts with all their spin-off
Back in my day.
sculpts and this. Yeah, exactly right. Wow, I just dated myself there.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. Josh, other than the doggo model, what anything else that's kind of looking good for you?
The other thing is, so I don't know how many games of Kill Team you guys have gotten in. I haven't, but my friend, two
Together.
of my friends have. Collective Kill Team experience at this table. No, two of my friends have, and they like absolutely love it. They think it's very sharp, very tactical.
Yeah.
And they're super glad to see like Games Workshop put this level of polish into Skirmish. and seem to give it legs. So I love seeing the Deathwatch and Drukhari starter sets just even more and more legs to Kill Team, to a skirmish level game that you can play with 40k models, which is what I've wanted for a long time.
Absolutely.
Cannot argue. I've got a Tyranid Warrior Kill Team statted up. I'm going to be doing Tau Pathfinders. It looks fun. The one shame is that the Tyranid Warriors have like this tactic thing. It's 2 command points, it's the equivalent of a stratagem, where they show up and if they end a charge within 6 inches of enemy models, you use this tactic, and all your other Tyranids gets +1 to hit anything that the warrior just charged.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember reading that one.
Wish they had that in 40k.
Well,
I
that's
would
the way
run
it goes, right?
Warriors if they had that in 40k.
Warriors always had a very weird spot. I find in 40k tabletop, they've always kind of struggled to find their niche.
Yeah.
But when you get into the skirmish games like Shadow War and now Kill Team, you're going to see them again.
Yeah.
No, that's the greatest part, right? Stuff that would never see a tabletop just because of how odd it is, how it just doesn't synergize anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Now
how you
there's
sell
a
models.
nice, sell models. You know, the rule of cool comes back into play a little more, right? It's not
Oh,
as
yeah.
detrimental to an army, stuff like that. Just gonna segue here. I know a lot of people are asking if we're live. So when people are watching this later, we are now only on Twitch.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on Twitch. We will be posting a lot about that soon, so get ready for the spam. So make sure to follow us on Twitch,
Incoming.
everybody. Yeah, incoming. You've
Incoming
been warned.
spam.
Yeah, you've been warned.
Have you updated your
anyway.
privacy agreement lately? We all remember that one.
Anyway, okay, so Rogue Trader,
And
very
also,
spicy.
I don't know if you caught this last week, but Thurston and Kyle have played some Kill Team, and Thurston has faced Necrons, and he says, you need to get into Kill Team with Necrons, because the execution of reanimation protocols is apparently pretty good.
better.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to, I guess, because right now the Necrons for me are just dry.
Well, I think it's not just for you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else in the city has Necrons. I keep buying everybody's.
Excuse me. Necrons. Yeah.
Anyway,
They're a little bit dusty too, not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Sitting on the shelf.
collecting a lot of dust right now.
No, I mean, I've been playing Mordheim for the longest time. I've gone through campaigns ever since it came out. And when I read the Kill Team rules, it actually reminded me a lot of the Mordheim rules.
Really?
It's almost like Mordheim Light. They took some of the really nice aspects of Mordheim and they pushed it into the 40k skirmish, stuff that Necromunda and Shadow War were desperately lacking.
Yeah.
And that for me is why I want to play Kill Team. Just haven't found the time to get around to it yet because, let's face it, we're busy people. But the rule set is a very impressive looking rule set. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it
I
a
don't think
lot.
I've really heard anything negative, to be honest. Like, people that play, like, there's little things like, oh, they maybe could have done this, maybe could have done that, but overall, the response is pretty positive. And that used to be something that was more of a rarity. Now, not so much. GW's kind of coming around a lot. So it's nice to see one of their little standalone games is getting a way more positive view, because I feel that at least they're using the thinking caps a little more, you know what I mean? Like, they're just actually reading what people say, like, because the amount of comments that talk about, like, why didn't you do this, or what about this? So I feel there might be somebody actually reading some of that.
It's not just a bot saying, thank you, we'll get back to you in a
Yeah.
timely manner.
Thanks
yeah,
for your
I'm sure.
Please put this in the suggestion box.
File
Where's
that
no
under G.
suggestion box? Exactly.
I've even heard rumors that like Nova, Adepticon, and one other is going to be running Kill Team events.
I can
along
see
with
it.
the other stuff.
I can see it.
Yeah.
It holds up as a standalone game as well as a campaign-based game too, so
No.
I definitely can see that happening.
And I can see a lot more people liking it because it's faster. I mean, well, it should be, in theory.
In theory. Again, it all scales back to points.
Yeah. So then, we kind of talked about the Road Trader, kind of talked about the sister weapons, so we got the Speed Freaks.
Oh man.
So
this
if we
is
got
my
producer
bread and butter
Maddie
right
gonna
here.
drop that sweet wagon,
Yeah,
the
that-
shaggin' wagon.
that's-
Dan Hewen, this is for you.
Okay.
This is all for you. the
My
next 15
only
man.
my only critique about this thing is, it's too clean for an orc vehicle. Like,
That's
it's
fair.
too together. That's my
But it's
only.
scaled properly. It's not like out of proportion like the old ones were.
Sure, but it's still too. It's a buggy. It looks like a NASCAR. No, Formula One car.
Yeah.
It's just too clean. Like, it just looks too well put together for, like, the orc concept. Do I love it? Absolutely. I think it's a great model. Looks really nice.
The conversion potential on this thing is just
Oh, yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
off the
I
shelf.
think you could buy one of those kits, some plasticard, and like you could probably put like 2 or 3 solid buggies together. I mean,
exactly.
look at its engine.
Look at this thing.
It's a shock attack gun.
You know, I think if you keep driving your Camaro on the Winnipeg roads for a few more weeks, it might actually start matching.
This thing will hold more value.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Christ. Oh God, I'm done. I'm out.
If he keeps driving it on
Bye.
Winnipeg
Stick
roads,
a fork
it's gonna
in
have
ya.
just as much as salt as he has right now.
Oh. That's only in the winter.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, this model is gorgeous, and I've been talking about starting up works for a long time now, and this is definitely a push in the right direction.
Dude, you just get a whole bunch of them, paint them up like actual like F1 cars.
The red ones go faster.
Perfectly accurate. Yeah,
That would
it's
be-
an ARC F1 car.
I mean, look at that spoiler. It's look at all that downdraft. Boy howdy.
No, and actually, this raises a question that we didn't quite address last week. I'm curious for you guys. Seeing models released as boxed sets, fairly new to Warhammer.
Box sets.
So I'm not used to seeing like box set games like Speed Freaks or Tooth and Claw and stuff.
Okay,
I look
yeah,
at
yeah.
things and I'm just like, okay, I want the model. Why can't I just buy the model? Why does it have to come in this box set? Why am I paying a tax of Space Wolves to get my genes?
Well, usually you can.
This tax and this other
It's a
stuff?
business. That's what.
Yeah. I mean, fair, but
that is the only. That's the only reason.
yeah.
Well, usually you
honestly,
can.
that's-
They release it later on.
Yeah,
as
they
its
do
own
release
kit.
it singles later.
That's
At
true, you
a
might be able to.
ridiculously
There's a
inflated
chance.
price,
Yeah.
but you can get it later on.
So you're almost better just getting the game with it.
Yeah.
yeah,
at that
and then
point.
trading and swapping. I see.
And
Trade
to be
swapping
honest,
or-
with Space Wolves, I mean, they're coming out soon. So
Yeah.
there's been no shortage of people who want to split these boxes.
That's fair. Okay, thank you for answering the
But
question.
yeah, that's my whole thing. And then the last one, the Adeptus Titanicus. What are our thoughts on that one?
Well, we all seen the Titanic and how quickly that one sunk. I think Titanicus is going to follow route with that.
Yeah, too much ice bucket challenge.
I
Yeah.
think you guys didn't see this, but last week was when we were. I had Thurston and Kyle talking about the initial Adeptus Titanicus reactions, and in our scripts, I have a section here for questions we should ask the audience. And the one I have for that one was, "How are your Bitcoin investments?"
I think they're sitting around 6,000 right now.
Sell now.
Can you convert some of that? Because like, Lord, I don't know. Maybe it's just we're in Canada, but look, I do
Yeah.
not want to pay that price for that game.
Man,
$350.
That's a steep price tag.
Yeah.
I've actually watched a few guys paint the models, seen them to scale and stuff, and they're really nice. But
Yep.
I don't know, man. Like was it 350 Canadian?
Canadian for the starter box.
That's a steep price tag.
And the worst part is, it's even if you do have the funds and the desire to buy it and get into it, now you got to find other people who've done that.
Yeah.
And let's face it, for a lot of us, $350, that's half a new army, or a whole new army if you're
Yeah.
playing
Something, yeah.
Night Titans.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Night Titans, but all the same.
You're sitting there
It's-
like Tobias Fluke and Arrested Development. There are literally dozens of us.
Yeah, I mean, a game is as
Dozens.
fun. Well, a game is as fun as the people you get to play against. And there's no one to play against, then it's just models on your shelf.
Yeah.
And that's what Titanicus is. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the stream chat here. We got some interesting faces being posted here by Rev, Jory. And that looks very 40k relevant, though. Keep it up. Speaking of Sisters Battle. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get that taken care of soon. But yeah, Titanicus, that was a huge potential that they had going for him, and then the price point just sunk it.
Yeah, that one. I think it's one of those ones where it's like you got to find that sweet spot with price and demand, and I think it priced itself too high that dropped that demand just below that cost what they wanted. I personally think. I mean, I'd be curious to see how the sales went. I mean, but
This may have been catty of me, but as I think I referred to it in the chat a while back, I look forward to picking it up in 2020 at the bargain bin to use as terrain. Because I figure that we're going to be seeing it at that point.
I don't know, after spending $350, I would not be throwing it out.
Producer Matt, can we turn up Producer Josh's mic, please, and thank you.
I'll just hog this. You and Scott can share that one. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're cool.
I'll bounce. It's all good.
Thank you guys in the chat for letting us know. That's great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Okay, so next on the dock, actually there was some terrain that came out too, some tiles for
Yes,
Titanicus
tiles.
from Forge World.
Oh, right. I think Matt's gonna
Again,
get those up there
look
soon.
really great, but this brings us into our next nice little segue into our Forge World.
Yeah.
Obviously some new stuff coming out of Forge World. Forge World's prices have changed, and I feel like Titanicus.
kind of paved the way for that change.
Yeah, this change has, I think, gone in the wrong direction.
Well, first it started as just swapping the currencies out, because when you go on the Forge World site, you'd see the currencies always in pounds, and I think maybe US dollars at best.
Or euros. I think they're the ones.
Yeah, there you
euros.
go. And so everyone else, we're always sitting here with a calculator, like, okay, it's $80. Okay, that's about 150 Canadian. We got used to that. All of a sudden, now, boom, you can just see the currency in Canadian dollars, which is nice. It's not, make or break, but it's nice. But we also see a 22% increase on all those prices, and that's
So-
Canadian.
Snooky.
Canadian's got the
I'm
22%.
not sure who's buying this stuff, but like
Not me.
when a model is, $300, $500, $700,
Yeah.
over $1,000.
It's definitely a very niche market.
It is. It's a super niche market, and I think it just got nichier. Is that
Nichier?
Nichier? I don't know. Did I should reinvent a word?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm
Nichier
looking
to
at,
do that.
what was it, the Eldar Shadow Spectres, 5 models, $80 Canadian.
Yeah.
Plus shipping on top of that. That's a
Just getting
lot
raked.
for 5 models. 5 models. Like, there's a few plastic kits where you see that similar price point, but very, very few in the GW line. Like, we're talking Blood Knights in the fantasy line. Some Terminator kits, I think, are up there, kind of.
Yeah, but
these are big models. Shadow Spectres are tiny models.
Tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah, that
tiny
doesn't
models.
make Messiah, what prices are Messiah 73.
Yeah, but in relation to Adeptus Titanicus, it says the prices on Adeptus Titanicus are steep, but to be fair, it's cheaper than the old models on eBay.
Okay, well,
Oh,
that's
okay.
collector's items at that point.
Yeah, you're
That's a
trying
collector's fee.
Yeah.
Materik says he or she is holding out hope for a new Epic release.
Oh, God. That would be something.
Epic. That'd be pretty cool.
I heard a lot of good things about that game. I
Is
never
it
played it.
Aeronautica or there's
Imperialis was one of them, I think.
yeah, like
that's still around.
that's the air one, and then there's
Yep.
the regular Epic, which is all ground forces, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's flyers
Those are-
in it too, but they were tiny, tiny models. Like one
Oh,
base
yeah.
had 5 Marines on it, for example.
That's right. I remember that. That was cool. I never played it, but that one was always one that looked really neat.
Well, it was a weird kind of turn system. It was kind of like it was random. It's kind of similar to how bolt action is now, from what I understand.
Okay.
But ironically enough, bolt action was designed by an early GW designer as well, so makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So any other thoughts on Forge World? I mean, I'm just, man. Actually, it's funny because Mike Shear was heading out there, and he's like, "Hey, if you want anything Forge World, let me know." And I was honestly thinking about some stuff, and then heard about the price hike, and I'm just like.
And it's only for foreign markets. That's the weird thing. If you're raising your products prices across the board, awesome. I can kind of understand that. Cost
Punish
of doing
America,
business.
not the rest of us.
No,
Come
America's
on.
getting the boost. They have shops now stocking Forge World.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the cafe in
Citadel Cafe.
Texas.
Yep. And I heard rumors of another one starting it, but that who's to say? But they have one confirmed right now.
Yeah,
One
that's-
place you can go in America is on the shelf Forge World. Maybe that has to do with the price increase.
Yeah.
Who's to
Anyway,
say?
enough about the griping of Forge World.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we all know
no-
what a price increase means. It's unhappy customers, less models sold, and probably less support for the rules that are already in
have
desperate need of it.
And there's no guarantee that the model quality is going to get better.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You can see some Sisters of Battle sculpts on the screen right now. I'm hoping
Oh, hey,
that
there they
Forge
are.
World improves, gets to this quality. 'cause
Well,
it's
yeah.
just-
If
it's
the
been rough,
quality
and it's
was
been
there,
rough. Yeah.
then I could see you justifying the prices. But even that, like, why?
Yep. I got a few things from Forge World when I was doing my Chaos. I got an Angron model. It was almost garbage worthy. I got a Warhound Titan. That thing took weeks to clean all the lines off.
Do you remember how many
was a
forum
joke.
posts were always about, like, my this is warped. How do I fix it? What do I use? How hot do I have to use a heat gun?
Yep.
Warm it with water and
Warping's
slow-
not terrible. Though.
It's still like when you buy a model for $700+
You do expect the
you
level
should
of quality.
not have to self-correct. Like,
Exactly.
tell you what, you look at it. If it's bent, give me 30% off, then I'll buy it and have to deal with the problems. Like, I'm
No,
buying
they'll
it-
just raise the price by 22% to give you that 30% discount.
God. But anyway,
No,
whatever.
you're absolutely right. It's
just-
not the warping that's the issue. It's the mold lines. It's the molds that get shifted, and since they're so old, they don't repair them. They just keep pushing out the models. That's where the problems come in.
And it's mystifying. It's completely mystifying.
Niche market.
Yep.
Well, that's enough about Forge World. We all know where that's going.
Smelly Blue Fish Boy says Forge World sculpts are pretty much less than third-party makers like Creature Counters. I mean, like, they have certainly come in to fill the gap, those third-party.
I don't know what creature.
I think you meant Creature
counters-
Casters, maybe?
Probably.
Creature Caster is another third party. They do a lot
maybe.
of beautiful sculpts, mostly for Chaos.
And that's the other thing, right? Like, when you're looking at those, and you're like, how could? Uh-oh.
Yeah, Australia got it the worst. But
Oh
let's
man,
face
they
it,
got
they're
bent,
used
but
to
they're
it.
always getting bent over.
Yeah,
I think they're used to it by now.
Yeah.
Lube prices have skyrocketed.
Would you like any glue with that? Maybe some paintbrushes or some KY?
Yeah, what brought you down today?
Yeah, creature casters. There we go.
Anyway, so to some local stuff. So
Yeah.
we're going to be talking a lot about Highlander today. We're going to be talking about the changes to the ITC missions, and we're going to be talking about kind of what the changes mean for Highlander and kind of things in the foreseeable future, I guess, at this point. Obviously, there was a vote on a bunch of changes, what people wanted to see.
Yeah, the secondaries mostly.
And the secondaries were changing. Actually, I'm playing a game with the guys back here. We're playing a doubles game right now, and yeah, we're playing, I think, mission 4, and it's quite different. And so far, it's kind of nice. I mean, I know I voted for the change personally, so I'm liking it. But yeah, so first thing, but first we're gonna go into our local league.
Local league.
Local league. I
Call
think
of
we're-
Eternity.
Call of Eternity. We're all in it, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not. I am.
Okay.
You are.
So, have you
Yeah,
had
you
your
guys
second
are.
game yet?
I have had my second game.
And?
I played the overwhelming OV.
Oh.
And my goal was to
Oy
start.
vey.
It was a mission where like there's 3 objective points in the middle, and most of your point scoring is going to come from controlling those over the course of the turns, right? So I'm playing Tau for this instead of my usual Tyranids, and I was like, okay, I'll start with a Ghost Keel and a couple of stealth teams midfield, try and just hold and stay there.
That's a bad
'cause those
idea.
guys are usually pretty hard to hit, and it'll probably stack with like the night fighting rules that were in place for this mission. And Ovi shows up with 7 dreadnoughts and a librarian. And let me tell you, I wasn't regular before this, but I was regular afterwards because he pushed my in thoroughly. 14-3. I lost 14-3.
Ooh. Oh
So,
no.
Imperium players in round 2, pray for the Emperor, but if you can't, pray for OV because he is doing you a world of good.
Pray for OV. Oh, that's good.
Well, I played against the robots,
Custom robots
Admech.
and
Admech.
Yeah, the Adeptus
Admech.
Mechanicus.
and that game was tight, back and forth, pain in the ass. Like nothing wanted to budge.
Oh, that was here.
Yeah.
A week or two
The
ago.
TSN
Right.
turning point was literally my scarabs just doing work.
Nice.
It was crazy because nothing. My shooting was doing nothing because of all the -1 modifiers he had on top of the night fight, like you just mentioned. But the Necrons did squeak out the win. I think
Excellent.
it was by like 2 or 3 points. So it was. So yeah, it was good. But yeah. So if we're counting the scores, just based on the stream, both sides are 1 win, 1 loss, and I think the Imperium may have points swung in their favor because.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game though. Honestly, like I hadn't played IMAC for a while. You know, had a nice mixed list of stuff, which was interesting.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those Castellans. You let them get a
Man,
few
those
rounds
things
off.
are wreck.
Yeah.
Those things just wreck everything. It's
You gotta
crazy.
get them tied up in combat
That's
as
exactly.
fast
Just
as
everything
possible.
was. I just tied up as much as I could. Took a beating doing it, but hit the Electro Priests.
Those things are
God,
hilarious.
those things just. Oh, those.
I heard
those
you need
hurt.
more dice.
Those hurt. Those hurt. Those wrecked my rates.
Yeah.
Did he have Belisarius call in the back lines?
Is that the bigger
The big,
robot? HQ. Yeah.
Big HQ.
The one
guy.
that repairs and like does all the funky stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. Oh, he is.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so far, league guy David is back. He's been saying that it's fairly tight this far. So if you haven't had your games, make sure they are scheduled and get those scores into him by the end of the month.
So about 4,
So-
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more days. No, 8 more days.
We're getting close, so
9.
make sure
Yeah.
to
It's a lot more days.
get that going. Are we frozen?
No,
Uh-oh.
no, I think we're still good.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't know what's happening.
We'll
Okay.
figure it
The
out.
Twitch page is loading, but we're good.
I just-
And I think it actually speaks really well to the design of the mission by Dave that like it can have tight back and forth.
Yep, and that's
He's
another.
been
Yeah.
doing a great job so far.
So, and if you
yeah.
find anything that really seems out of place, always message our page. Seriously,
Yep.
guys, like we're always trying to just make things better, push that envelope for everybody. So if you see anything, if you think of anything, even if it's not even part of the league, but you think, oh, this could be cool somewhere down the road, shoot us a message. We do keep it all. It's all filed. We do review at the end of each year.
We do have a
Promise.
folder for the opinions
Promise.
and the suggestions.
Promise.
It's
So,
not even the round folder that we keep on the floor.
Very true. No,
Fact.
one
Can
thing.
confirm.
One thing. As an outsider, who was working with Dave on the mission and watching all the feedback, was a lot of people were commenting about night fighting and how it's just destroying armies. And I do want to remind people that that's a core rule. We didn't create this rule. This rule is actually in the rule book.
We just everyone has
just use it.
not used it for a long time.
Exactly.
But it's still there.
And it was written verbatim to that core book. So one thing I can tell people is expect to see it in upcoming events. This is something that you'll have to be aware of because
Shooting
go back.
is so strong, so
Yeah.
remember,
like this is a balancing fact, and the game designers may have taken it out of the lineup like they did have night fighting in previous editions. But that's not to say it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
As people playing the games, you just have to choose to use it.
Yeah, it hurt my Tau a fair bit, especially because OFB was playing Raven Guard. But for armies like my Tyranids, if I had been playing them, I would have been like, okay, the scales have been evened out now.
Yeah.
It's a level playing field. I can rush up without having to worry about being shot
blasted
to
and
pieces
blasted.
from
Yep.
people
Absolutely.
in parking lots in the deployment zone. So yeah, no, it's takes all armies to make a game.
So yeah, expect to see it in the future. Again,
So yeah, back to the ITC missions, back to Highlander.
oh boy. ITC missions or Highlander because
So-
they are almost separate.
What do we got next, Josh? Which order are we gonna go in?
I think let's address how the ITC changes affect Highlander very quickly because I think we can do that very quickly.
That's a very simple
And then
answer.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't affect Highlander at all.
Highlander is very unique in the way you list build. It doesn't follow the online meta, so people that build to that meta and think armies using the same kind of gimmicks that are in regular games will probably get hurt a little bit.
Well, it shakes you up.
It shakes it up.
It
Absolutely
makes
does.
people look at their codex and start using entries that you might not have otherwise used.
Yeah,
Because
because
Highlander is the rule
It's
of
like,
one.
oh man, I could have someone could have 3 of something, and this thing would be dead. Well, now it's only 1, so the odds of that
Yep.
unit that you would not usually take, it might actually become something a little more viable. Not to mention, it may have some gimmicky rules that may help.
Play out.
Yeah. As a
Like-
quick recap for our viewers from out of town, the rules we're using for the Highlander event is a 1,500 point army, 2 detachments. They have to be different detachments, and when you're picking your units, you can only pick a single data sheet. You can pick very similar data sheets like Thornback Carnifex and Screamer Killer Carnifex, but only one of a particular data sheet and however many models you can take within that one data sheet. Troops can take up to 3.
Nope,
and
troops can go
Troops
as
are
many as
unlimited.
want.
Oh, I
Yep,
thought
troops
it
are
was-
unlimited.
We will have to double check the rules then because I thought it was troops up to 3. That's what it says in the rules in the page. Anyway,
Maybe it is
we will
3.
get that sorted.
Anyway, it's on the page. It's online.
Yeah,
Get
rules are online.
So-
Listen to that, not me.
another little segue. So 1 is start following Twitch, and 2, start getting in the habit of checking the website first for all information pertaining to
Updates,
events,
FAQs.
leagues, FAQs, anything pertaining to what we do. Links should be up there. If there aren't, if there's something wrong with it, obviously message the page. But that should be the primary point of reference for
Yeah.
everything 40 Below Gaming.
Sorry to cut you
anyway,
off real
sorry.
quick. I saw a question pop up there on Twitch. Can spectators come watch? Yes, you can come watch
Yes.
the event. Again, it's at the Canadian Legion Branch 252. That's on South Osborne Street. I don't remember the exact address.
It's on the
but it's
website.
on the website. But it's on the website. So yeah, spectators come watch.
Yeah, it's free. Just come
It's
on
free.
in.
Just come on in. We do have a raffle there that not only players but spectators can enter in as well. Should you so wish, we have a bunch of prizes going up from our sponsors, from battle foam cases to GW box sets.
Yeah.
Again, all on the page.
On the page.
It's kind of like a theme we're building here. Like everything
Yeah.
we say is usually on the webpage, or at least the Facebook
Yeah.
page.
Consistent messaging.
And on the events page at the top in the red bubble is a checklist, event checklist.
Yes.
I recommend anybody that's playing should go check this checklist that has been up for years.
Because
And
so many
see-
people
and people
forget.
still manage to forget things. I can't wait to have that one event that no one says, oh, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot a model. Where's my tape measure?
When that day happens, I'll do a backflip on the stage.
Ooh,
Mark my
that's-
words.
You
Mark
heard
my
it here
words.
first.
Backflip, stage, it'll happen. Or I'll try.
Okay.
All right, guys, we
Gonna
gotta work
try
together.
On workers' comp for a
We gotta
week.
make Scott either do a backflip or wipe out. I'm excited to see either.
Oh my God, what am I signing up for?
Yeah. So, producer Josh,
Yeah.
where are we at next? What's next on the docket?
So the ITC changes because Highlander uses mostly the ITC simplified missions. The stuff that you've heard of the last couple of weeks doesn't really apply. We just wanted to address that really quickly.
Yeah.
Next up, we just want to get your questions. Either if you're in Winnipeg and about to attend the event, or you're out of Winnipeg and you just got questions for how Highlander works or how you would rule certain things. That's what Fabio and Scott are really here for today, because Fabio is your TO for Highlander. Scott
one of the
helped design
TOs.
One of the TOs. Our other is the mighty Steve Rayner.
Yep, he is the other.
And Scott helped design many of the missions of the event. So if you have
Well,
any questions,
not the missions, no.
Scott
We
is
stole the
responsible
ITC missions.
for this. For the Warhammer Dad, Scott is responsible for a bunch of things.
There you
Anyway,
go. Bunch of
if
things.
you got questions, please ask
old
them
man.
in the chat, and we will get them addressed. We've got a couple to start off.
We got an error.
We got an error here. Uh-oh. Media resource decoding error. We're just going to assume that everything's still working and keep going.
The show must go on. So
gonna
questions
keep
to
talking.
start us off for you guys. Again, like I just make pretty pictures happen. I haven't run events. What's the toughest rules call you guys have ever had to make or unpack at an event?
Oh, goddamn.
Toughest rule call.
Yeah, what's been like the one that's like head scratcher?
I remember actually
Go for it.
there was one at the last Highlander. It was like I think it was like
The objective marker.
yeah, the objective mark. Do you remember kind
Yes,
of how it
yes,
played out?
I do remember
that
how it
one was
played out.
that one took us a while actually.
So an objective marker, it was just a disc. It's just an item on the ground, 40 millimeter base. But this one was actually elevated on the top of a building, because back in that edition, you could put them on buildings
yeah,
in
you
ruins.
could put it on third level, whatever.
The model who was within 3 inches of it, the base was not within 3 inches, but the top of the model was within 3 inches. So
Okay.
we were trying to figure out whether or not his hand that was reaching out to the stars counted to whether he was within
So
3
you're
inches or
measuring
not.
from that point
Yeah.
to the underside of the level above which the objective was on.
And to make matters worse, it was in a position on the building that made it impossible to actually get the measuring tape in there properly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was actually quite a finicky
You had a
little
guy
rule.
like
So
reaching for something up.
Yeah, it was actually a blue horror or a pink horror, I forget. And we spent about 15 minutes trying to figure this out. We went to the ICC pages, to which we got no clear answers.
it was the reason we were able to spend a little more time on it was because it was just
It was the last
everything was
game.
done. It was the last decision to be made, and the break was happening. So it allowed us to just take some time to really evaluate it because it was probably I don't think there's any I can't remember anything else that took us as long or was as difficult to make a call.
Yeah.
I
And
remember
you
a
want to be
couple.
right
Do
on
we have any
game break
online
and
like
stuff
that
like
we
that.
got as questions to the page that we discussed back and forth for a while?
Here's the thing, like, that's all back in 7th edition when the rules was a mess.
Yeah, that's true.
And there were a lot of tough calls back then we had to make, because the ITC rules helped, but they didn't cover everything. In 8th edition, I've seen one question I couldn't answer, and still can't be answered to this day.
And I still
Only one. And the rest, everything's pretty clean cut, to be honest.
like the
That's good to hear.
A unit with multiple toughnesses. Which toughness do you wound against when you're shooting? There's nothing in the rules stating what you roll against, so we just went with this.
is it not
time old-
majority?
Not in the rules. At the time, at least, it was in the rules. So we just went with majority toughness, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, there was nothing for that. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I know there like for Highland there was some stuff about like do different like demon princes or different things that have the same like
Same unit entry name,
but
a
on different codexes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
that one came up.
Those are kind of back and forth we've been going over.
What was your call on those?
They're both allowed.
Okay.
They are not considered the same. Because they are, in fact, from different codexes. They use different roller traits, they have different relics, and they have different psychic powers available to them. So effectively, they are different.
Okay.
So we are allowing that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same concept. You have a Land Raider Crusader, you have a normal Land Raider, and a Land Raider Redeemer. Effectively, it's all Land Raiders with different guns, and they're all different unit entries, so why the heck not?
Yeah.
You know, it should be allowed, so.
That makes sense.
And it's a weird format in general. I mean, Highlander, the whole reason behind the format was to shake people up. Back in 6th and 7th, it was all spam this, spam that, net list here, net list there. And we wanted a format that was a bit more casual, something to just change up the usual that we were tired of seeing just over and over and over again. With 8th edition, it's not making as big of a dent. You're not seeing drastic changes in lists anymore. You're seeing minor changes, but not as much as we saw back in 6th or 7th.
That makes sense.
Because just the game itself is, well, the rules are different, and now they have the rule of 3, which has changed a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Highlander Light, Diet Coke of Highlander.
Highlander Lacroix. So follow-up question. There's some tough rules questions, but there's a lot of rules questions that are simpler, perhaps because of frequency. You guys run events. What's the most common mistake you see players make? What's the one that you just wish you could tell people in advance, don't do this, this is the mistake?
The common mistake is not reading the documents posted thoroughly and maybe several times, because honestly, I want to say 9 times out of 10, the answers are there. It's no different than most common questions that are asked during games are actually in the books. And it's just people are just so used to, like, if they don't know, they ask right away. But it's like it's pretty good. Like, it's all there. So I don't think there's a specific question per se. It's more, at least I've been seeing, it's just a lot of very common oversights.
Yeah. I mean, I know that I saw this earlier this week. It happened to not catch me, but I was helping someone with a list, and he had posted, like, he'd used 2 battalion detachments for his list. And I was like, yeah, no, this list is fine. It's totally fine. Look, there's only 1 data sheet per model, et cetera, et cetera. It's totally good. And then I double check the rules. Duplicate detachments. No. Like, it was just 1 line in the single rules page for Highlander. Very clear. But I had just skimmed it over.
Right.
Just because it's like, okay, that's where the information block is, right? I didn't read that. I was lucky enough for my list that I'm using a battalion and the special Highlander detachment. But, like, even somebody whose day job is reading documents and communicating, I missed a simple line. So it's really easy to get caught by that.
But that's why we have a page.
And
We've had some people send in their lists asking for them to get verified, and players can still do that. If you want just that second opinion from a TO that your list is legal for the event, send it in over the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
We'll be glad to go over with you. Well, the TOs will. I won't be because I'm playing in it. But the TOs will be happy to go over it and give you a thumbs up.
All right. Third question. What's the biggest difference between ITC play and regular play? Even though we're doing ITC simplified for these missions, like what are people going to have to keep in mind in terms of scoring or objectives or what have you?
Well, I mean, Highlander, it's all your basic rulebook missions.
Yeah.
It's basically the missions right out of the rulebook, but given a bit more structure than the rulebook gives. Like, here's where the objectives go, here's the measurements, here's what qualifies as a major loss, or major win, major loss, minor loss, whatever. It spells it all out.
Yeah, and the reason we decided to go with the simplified missions is because we've basically negated people from using a lot of the same types of units. A lot, like, every army, every book has efficient units, and people take multiples of them for that reason.
Yeah.
Well, we basically dumbed that down so people can't do that, to change the structure a bit. So if we were to keep those very complex tournament missions and apply and take away a lot of those viable options, it may make, I think it would just change the meta again. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think this way, at least, it's not so complex. It helps speed up the games a little more. It's more inviting to newer players. You've still got structure. So the players that are a little more tactical and stuff, it can cater to them as well. But, like, list building becomes more important. And even people that don't know really what they're doing, they may not have 3 of everything that's efficient. So they may have 1 of a bunch of stuff.
It's a lighthearted tournament.
Yeah, the idea is a little more lighthearted. Like, again, back to that whole meta thing. Like, the meta's shifted. So we definitely encourage people to not try and worry so much about the meta. These are events that you can actually get away with trying new stuff. You know, having a little more fun with your list. It opens up to creativity for those more veteran players, but it also allows the newer players to kind of break in and get a feel for tournament life or a little more competitive edge without being the other side of the scale, which could be, super extreme.
The new player stuff is especially relevant for me. I only got back into the game last year. I have 1 Malin Throw. I have 1 Trigon Prime.
Exactly.
I have 1 Harpy.
So, like, you would go into this tournament and it's like, oh man, I only have 1 of these things. You face another Tyrion player, he's got 3 of them. It's like, oh shit. But at least here now, it's ones is the norm. You can't go past that. So, it's someone that only has
5 Plague Burst Quality,
exactly.
or 3, I guess, stuff like that. And getting hounded by that kind of stuff, because for new players, it can be very dissuading.
Yes.
Yes, it's basically like Magic's EDH. Yes, the Commander version, exactly.
And I play a lot of that, and this event appealed to me. It's right when I heard about it for that reason.
The one-ofs is that we did the same last year for Highlander. The one-ofs kind of thing. It's just
mix it up.
It's mixed it up.
You know,
exactly.
we have our hyper-competitive events like Plains of War, where people go balls out on the most powerful jaw-clenching lists to win games. And you know what? That appeals to certain types of players, but doesn't appeal to everyone. Likewise, we have the more casual events to appeal to casual players. So, everyone can at least enjoy an event environment and have something to do. And, it's actually kind of fun. As a TO, as an organizer, it's fun planning an event on the opposite side of the spectrum of competitive. It's different.
You're still running organized play events, but there's a lot of different ways to cater to different groups of players and try and cater to their interests in the game.
Yeah.
So it brings this challenge to us too, and it's fun. Like
It makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah,
think of
it's
a
good.
player playing the same list over and over. They're going to get tired of it. Or a TO running the same kind of event over and over and over. It can become boring as well. So
Different
it keeps
points,
our side of things
So
interesting.
like different point levels, doubles.
Yep.
You know, changing the way people have to play with using Highlander. You know, adding different detachments into
Yeah.
the fold, stuff like that. You know, just trying to throw curveballs wherever we can.
Cool.
So yeah, no, it's good.
And I'm just
That'll be
getting excited. I get to play for a
Yeah,
change.
it's
I'm,
just
I'm shaking. This is a fire I need under my butt to get my army painted. Like, this army has taken
Yeah.
almost a year to get the halfway mark, and the last 2 months, it got the rest of the way. And this is
Nice.
the event I needed to get there.
You're playing, you're comfortable with us talking about it on the stream?
Exodites.
Exodites.
Eldar Exodites.
Dun, dun, dun.
You
Yeah.
will see the dinosaurs live and in person
If
this
you
Saturday.
if you check out the, I think you posted some pictures recently, right?
A
Somewhere?
couple, yeah.
Yeah.
I put them in the Winnipeg 40K chat. Just a few zoom-in shots of the display board I put together for them in a mad rush in the last couple days.
Yep.
The
And-
mad rushes.
Yeah, it still happens to the best
The
of us.
finest of traditions.
But yeah, there's
So-
a few pictures out there.
Cool. Next question, I'm going to narrow in on part of this because I know it's something I always have difficulty with, remembering tracking like scoring and stuff. Do you guys have any
Yeah.
tips to make sure that like you get all the right scores? We talked earlier in the show about how sometimes you'll get people coming up, or no, sorry, this was pre-show. We talked about sometimes you'll get people coming up having to recalculate sometimes. Like, what's the best way players can sort of keep on top of everything and remind themselves of the scoring rules to avoid that?
Fabio?
Well, there's kind of two parts. One is obviously at the end of each player round, just go through it with your opponent. Hey,
Yeah.
this is what I got. Does it make sense to you? Yes, okay.
Takes 10 seconds.
10 seconds. It's really quick. That's why it's always important that everyone has like a little piece of paper or something.
Yep.
Usually on our sheets that we provide, there's a little bit of space somewhere or way to calculate.
Well, on our mission sheets, we had that ITC mission sheet kind of thing, which is
Yeah.
something we put together. On the back of the mission, you will find just basically bookkeeping areas. An area for your warlord trade, so area for your psychic powers, area for your destiny dice result, and just mission notes and your secondary objectives.
Try and keep all that
Sure.
upkeep in one place
Yeah.
for everybody.
So if you flip on the back of the mission sheet, you'll have a place to put all the information so you don't forget it.
And then the other thing is the Best Coast Pairings app, especially with things that are ITC events. We use that, so it's a matter of the players coming up after they've constantly checked with each other. They both come up, they input a score, they submit. It can still be changed up until the next round is tabulated. So if they catch an error at
You
that
have
point,
time.
it's the time. But honestly, if they miss it at that point, it's on them.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Yeah. There's a level of player
Yeah,
responsibility
you got to
there.
be a little more. You got to be responsible on that part. So if it works out in your favor, great. You know, if it doesn't, well, it's just kind of the onus is on you guys. So that's on the players, pardon me. So like that's kind of the way we. So it's like you have a self check, you have a self double check at the end, and then you submit
Yeah.
together. So like at some point in that whole,
You should
little
catch
player
everything.
contract, you should be able to catch your errors.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of it comes down to familiarity with the ITC secondary objectives for normal ITC events that use the champion missions. Reading them before the event. Make sure you
Practice.
don't go,
Yeah.
not even practicing,
Absolutely.
just reading them and knowing what's going on. Because if you go into your game and you have to read through every single one, you're going to waste time and you're going to screw things up. It takes 5 minutes to read it over, and if you have a chance, play
Yeah.
the missions and practice them. That's even better. But familiarizing yourself with the missions that the event's using before the event itself will speed things up so much.
That makes sense. Okay.
And most of our events, we post the missions at least a week
We do.
before, if not months before, depending on the event.
We got a question from Baron Studios. Hold on, Scott. I'm just going to cover your ears. Chess clocks will not be used at the event. We will not be using chess clocks at all. Slow players, it's on you to call your TOs over. Just want to protect him here because he had to deal with these questions a lot.
Yeah, guys, this is like, okay, so
It's a hot topic.
chess clocks. I haven't.
actually
I've,
hurt.
I've started to use them myself in preparation for an event I'm going to in Regina, and
Oh, you're going to that one?
I personally, yeah,
Nice.
someone couldn't make it on the for the team tournament, so I'm filling in.
Oh, that's in September, that's right.
Yeah, it's the end of September. So, I like them personally. It's just an unbiased way to keep everybody on the same pace, because otherwise there's I've seen it, like someone's like, hey, can we speed this up? And the other guy was like, whoa, like settle down, hardcore. It's like, well, no, it's part of the kind of the game, the contract is, you know, equal time, keeping a good pace, finishing the game, or trying to get to a point where you pretty much can conclude the game naturally versus, oh, turn 2, sorry, buddy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I had a great game talking about all my models and giving them all voices. Like, there's a time and place for everything, right? And an event is not a time to be doing that kind of stuff.
That's
and
what break
people
time
can't-
lunch is for.
Yeah,
Yep.
some people can't differentiate the two, and as soon as someone else calls them on that, it's like this big, everyone's offended, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
So I like the special chess box. You know, I think our community, as you know, as a whole, is kind of lucky that we haven't had to really enforce that. But on the same note, if someone feels they aren't getting through their games aren't going at a decent pace, they have every right to call a TO over and say, hey, can we, like, you help me move along this game? Because realistically, you know, we always say, like, 4 turns, you know, 4 or 5 turns in 2.5 hours is
be
not
no problem.
unreasonable. So that comes down to knowing your rules. Again, like Scott said, know the missions, read them ahead of time. You know, so you kind of go in having an idea. If I play X, Y, or Z army, I know that I want to take this as my secondary, or this is my secondary, and I'm going to use this warlord trait. And you know what I mean? Like, you have all this stuff kind of blocked out.
Being prepared.
Yep.
Being prepared. Yeah, absolutely.
So-
But the other issue with that is something I've touched on many times before. When it comes down to rules disputes or calling the judge over, the Warhammer community is a lot of mild-mannered people. You're all very nice people. I love you all. But sometimes you're just too nice. You're too worried about hurting people's feelings. And calling over a TO is not going to do that. If your game is going slow, you need to have the confidence to set up and say, hey, TO, come over and help us here. This is a problem we're having. And the judge will give a fair, unbiased ruling on what's going on, whether
you
it's
just start
time-based or rule-based.
You just start timing, right? Like, it's like, hey, you got X amount of time left. What turn are you on? Okay, we got to start going this many minutes a turn. Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
just
realistically, we can't have clocks at every single table.
No.
And that means the tables that don't have clocks, which we aren't using for Highlander, by the way, the players need to manage this themselves. And
Yep.
if you don't have the courage or the confidence to stand up, then you're going to have a negative experience. And saying stuff after the game, I mean, well, can't do anything about that, really.
The corollary to that, and there's a question I slipped into the production script here that wasn't into the notes I had of the hosts beforehand. When should people call over Fabio or Steve Rayner, our TOs? Anytime, no matter what. They're
It's,
there to help.
I
It
do
doesn't
encourage
matter.
you guys,
It's
though-
not a bullying or rude thing to be, hey, we got to get a
It's
judge
for
here.
speed of play.
I do encourage you guys to try and talk to each other, especially with rules.
Yep.
Like, if you don't think someone's saying the rule right, say, can I see your book? Let them keep playing. You know, you quickly show me where the rule is. Let me read it. Kind of that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you still aren't convinced, call us over. With time, try and talk to them first. I'd say, listen, like, we have this much time left. We're only this turn. Can we kind of pick up the pace here?
You can't figure it out in 5 seconds, call a judge.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not happening, if for whatever reason your opponent's kind of pushing back a little bit, there's 2 things you do. One, you call over the judge, or TO, and secondly, that's where sportsmanship comes in, right? It's not so much asking to speed up the game to actually finish the game, because that should be, if both players can get that done, that should reflect positively in sportsmanship. If they push back and say, no, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, too bad for you,
That's a problem.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So let's not get those things confused. And I think it's getting better, but just to reiterate that.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
Lastly, for now,
Oh, God.
Oh, more.
if you give people one piece of advice ahead of the event, if you could just tell everybody one thing, what would you tell them? And Fabio, I'll throw this to you first.
Oh, man. Highlander is designed to have fun and try new things. So my one piece of advice or one point would be to try and do that. Don't go to the meta busters. Don't go mental thinking about a list. Go to those models that have been sitting on your shelf forever and try and come up with something clever. At the end of the day, it's ITC. There's points, but
Not a lot of points.
not a lot of points. It's a small event, so at the end of the day, it's not going to break the bank for you. So just try and have some fun with it. I would definitely challenge everyone to just bring out those dusty models that
Nice.
have been sitting. That would be the
Scott, one thing you could tell everybody ahead of time.
Right. So I'm going to expand on Fabio's point there a bit. Bring out the old models, try new things. That's great. But just like any other tournament, whatever list you've been playing for the last 2 weeks, whether it's working or not, don't
Sell
change it. Don't change it. Like, you're going to be looking at your list Friday night, and you're going to be saying, if I put this gun over here, if I take out this unit, add a new unit, maybe it'll do better. I guarantee you it won't. You've been practicing a certain way for a while. You know what works and what doesn't work. As soon as you start making changes the day before a tournament, you're going to forget.
You're going to forget you made the change.
Exactly. You're going to make mistakes saying, oh, I forgot that unit could do that, or I forgot this unit could work with this other unit. And you're going to make even more mistakes, and you're going to come out worse than if you just played that original list in the first place. So whatever list you got locked in right now, don't change it. Print it off right now. Pack it up. Enjoy Friday night. Have a few drinks, but not too many because you got to be awake in the morning. And, just come in relaxed, and, if you know your army, you will be relaxed.
And we'll be there at 8 setting up, so if everyone's coherent at that time, feel free to pop in and give us a hand moving some tables and setting up some terrain.
Yeah, because we're doing rush setup.
Rush setup, due to location.
My blood is probably going to be I'm probably going to have a lot of blood in my Monster energy drink system at that point.
High monster to blood alcohol.
There's going to be a
monster ratio. Okay, whatever.
Blood monster ratio. Sorry, I fumbled that. It's late. I'm sorry. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of energy drinks in my blood system at that point, but I'll be there. Yeah.
Monster
Arc Light Jammer. I'll be there to help out. I don't know who you are,
but thank you.
Appreciate this.
Gotta love those login names that are.
Oh man, internet anonymity. I'm sure we'll meet you, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, please have a name tag that says Arc Light.
I'm Arc Light. No, we're not streaming this event, unfortunately. So people at home, you won't be able to watch it. We will be posting lots of pictures throughout the event.
I might put a couple live streams just from my phone up.
Yeah, just a few clips here and there.
What's happened.
Maybe some player interviews. Maybe
get them hype moments.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you've tuned in at any point, make sure to remind others to follow us on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/40belowgaming.
You heard it here first. Producer Josh dropping.
Yeah, I think we're what is it? Affiliate status now for Twitch? Is that what they call it?
We're working on that, but we're getting there.
Affiliate status? Okay, that's a progress thing. Okay.
Yeah. So
I can't remember. I'm not here anymore. So.
And guys, we're good. Yeah. So
I'm always in the office.
So also some other things to make sure to let know. I know we do a lot of 40K and stuff revolving around 40K. Age of Sigmar is taking off. We are working on some Age of Sigmar stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see for Age of Sigmar, drop message the page. Do not message us directly. Message the page. Follow us on Twitch. Check the website. Highlander this weekend. Twin Eagles coming up. We got some big news on that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got some announcements coming up for that soon. I mean, everyone knows it's coming. It's just it's a gimme. They don't know what's coming for it yet.
So that's
we'll have some information for you soon.
Cool. Open Gaming's coming up in a couple weeks here at PvP.
2 weeks. 2 weeks right here.
And that will be around League.
That'll be round 3 for the league. Dave's got something really special cooked up for this one. He's got some crazy trains, some crazy missions. This is going to be a very unique mission, not only for a league, but just for 40K in general.
So guys, if you want to get the full experience on round 3,
you got to be here for it.
Get to PvP on the Tuesday.
That's the 7th, I think it is.
Yes,
well, it's the first Tuesday of every month,
First Tuesday every month.
So get that
7th.
grilled into your mind. First Tuesday every month, PvP, 40K. That's just the way it goes. You should get like 8 or 9 tables set up. People rotate their games out throughout the night, have a few drinks. It's good times. That's all I can think of.
The first Tuesday in September is the 4th.
Oh, there you go. September 4th, not the 7th. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Oh, yeah. I'm here to fact check.
I just work here, man.
Yep.
I think that's all we got for today.
Is that all we got?
Yeah.
I think that's all we got.
Cool. So, yeah, any more questions about the event coming up? Fire off the 40 Below page.
Yeah.
Start getting used to that, though, please.
Yes.
Yes, everything to the page. I know we repeat ourselves so much, but we are trying to change the hearts and minds here.
The idea, people keep messaging one of us individually, and that stuff just gets buried
and lost and forgotten,
and we hate it. So what happens on the page, guys, on the back end, we can go in and we can actually tag certain people to look at these things. So whether it be rules discussions, whether it be league questions, whether it be anything. So it really helps us not only make sure you get the right answer, but it helps us get the answer quicker. And then everyone can see the answer, so everybody in the group knows what's happening for if the question happens to pop up elsewhere.
There's a team of folks, and if you message one of us individually, you're depriving yourself of the chance to have your question answered by the whole team at 40 Below.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
So
holy man, we're multiplying like rabbits as of lately.
There's just a lot more happening, so people are getting on board. So anyway, so let's go to the sponsors.
Yes.
Without the sponsors, We would sort of not be where we are. We wouldn't be able to get you guys
Oh,
cool
yeah.
stuff. We wouldn't be able to, have as many events. Well, I guess we could still have the events, but it's always nice.
We got prizes, we
Prizes
got
and
raffles,
stuff,
we got
yeah.
giveaways. I mean, that's how we keep
Yeah.
everything going. Like, what was it?
Absolutely.
Last Twin Eagles, I remember Ryan walked away with a Mortarian model. Next time I see him for Plains of War, he had that painted up and on the table. It's actually kind of nice to
Yes.
see
Yeah.
that kind of a rotation of how that stuff works.
So it's good. So sponsors. So I'll take the first couple here, and then producer Josh, you can finish the left side, and
Sounds good.
Scotty, you'll get the right side.
There's the right side?
So sponsors, I'll take the top two. Hidden City Comics. Hidden City is has been our primary sponsor this
For the last 2 years
year and
almost.
this year.
Or a year and a half.
But obviously, George is heading out to Alberta. His son's out there, family and stuff, and everything just lined up for him to get out there early. So he's going to be leaving at the end of August. So Hidden City will be closed. Hidden City will kind of cease to exist, I guess, in
Yeah.
Winnipeg, but in our hearts it will always be there. And on our
Just doing this
pages,
for a while, but we will miss you.
we'll miss you dearly. But
The open gaming at Hidden City has been shut down.
Yeah.
I think 2 Fridays ago, or last Friday was the last
yeah,
one.
something like
But they still have their doors open. There's lots of product there, lots of inventory. He's clearing out.
So don't
40K
don't miss
and
out on it.
otherwise. So yeah, head down there, grab some memorabilia, maybe some cardboard cutouts, whatever you see on the shelf. Help him out, clear that stock so he doesn't have to ship it all the way to Alberta.
Yeah. Battle Foam, best transport Ford models. I know Tupperware has been a hot commodity, but
Battle Foam's pretty
Battle
solid
Foam is
stuff.
pretty solid. They've got us some sweet bags. We've got another 720.
Yep.
And
Pack 720, yeah.
And I think a divider or something. I can't remember which.
A topper, the topper.
The topper.
We got a topper, and then the dice, either dice transport or a file, like a sleeve that you put all your army lists and
Accessory.
books in.
A
Yeah,
pack accessory.
one of those is coming in it too. So all that stuff's gonna be at Highlander. So
For the raffle.
for the raffle, it's up for grabs for anybody. So thank you to Romeo and Battle Foam down in Arizona. You
best.
guys.
PvP Cyber Lounge, our current location here on Pembina. They have been a wonderful host for us for the last couple of years. Every first Tuesday of every month, 40K. Every Thursday when we're in season, they host us here. We've got a game happening back there right now. Cannot speak highly enough.
Can't really see it, no.
Nah, it's trust us.
But there's a game there.
It's there.
Promise, I'm part of it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. No.
By
wonderful
proxy.
sponsor.
He's sending his commands by text.
Yeah.
John,
That's why I was texting before. John,
move.
don't fuck up.
Necron, go start. Queens 5 to Rook 3.
No Necrons on that
Yeah.
table, by the way.
And then Game Night Games and Cool Stuff, they're a wonderful sponsor for us as well. They got that lovely new location on Osborne 514,
It's a castle.
something like that.
It's a big castle.
Literally,
It's a
it's
castle.
painted like a castle.
They're doing 40K now, too.
Props to them. They're doing 40K.
Who else we got on the list this year? We got On Call Solutions. These guys, they're a Winnipeg IT company. They support residential, commercial. If you have an IT problem, they will solve it. So check out their website, oncallsolutions.com, if you have any IT problems. And yeah, definitely do that. Northern Lights Terrain. That's Byron's company, isn't it? Northern Lights Terrain is a friend of ours. He's running this terrain making company out of Winnipeg. They specialize in MDF laser cut terrain.
Yep.
From historical era, Roman times, you got medieval times, you have
Gothic, futuristic.
Gothic, futuristic, 40K, Infinity, you name it. He's got so many different game systems. If you got an idea, he will design it for you even.
Yes. I use their movement trays and they
Movement
are
trays, even
wonderful.
gaming accessories.
Yeah.
That's right. He's got like boxes for Infinity armies and stuff like that. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Check out the website if you're looking to add a few more items into your army list that isn't model related.
Yep.
And finally, what do we got? We got AYB Online. Without them, we would not be here. These guys have supported us from the start. They do all the esports in Manitoba and pretty much Canada at this point.
Central Canada's largest
Esports
LAN
company.
gaming event.
Yeah. I believe their next event is not announced yet, but there should be something coming up. AYBonline.com. Check it out if you're into the whole digital gaming competition scene.
Yep. And lastly, I Want That Stuff out in Brandon. They are just finished remodeling. They're going to be reopening with food and basically an entire new interior to their building
Really?
in the next couple of weekends.
Well,
Yeah.
they're outsourcing
just
the
wrapping that up.
lounge. So they all have the hobby shop, and then the lounge will be like outsourced, kind of like what Reset used to do.
Oh.
So they're getting they'll be down for a little bit. But
So all those tables, are they still going to be gaming
oh yeah,
tables?
they'll
though?
speak gaming. And just having
Yeah.
Just
a
got a
different
new-
restaurant that'll be managing all the food and the alcohol there.
Interesting,
So
interesting.
some big things are coming for you folks in Brandon. I'm very jealous of what you have out there. I can't wait to come out there and check it out again. But,
Please tell me you're doing another doubles tournament in January. My friend Michael and I came last January. We loved it. We came for another doubles thing in April. We loved it. I want that stuff.
I actually think they're gonna be. Oh no, I Want That Stuff isn't running it, but there is another charity event they're doing out there.
Cool.
It's coming up. So if you guys are looking for something else to do later in the
Yeah,
year,
they usually do something around Remembrance Day, I think.
something
Yeah.
like that. So
Excellent.
All right, well, I
guys.
guess that's it for
That's it.
tonight.
that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Josh, Scott, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the chatter. Love seeing it active. Remember, share, let
Share the
everybody
page.
know.
Like the page.
Like
We
the page,
request that
share
you
the
don't
page.
smash the like button. Treat it politely. Like buttons go through a lot if
Yeah.
you listen to YouTubers, so just politely
You know,
click the
just
like
make sure
button.
to rate our page, please. Tell
reviews are
people
nice.
to follow. Yeah, reviews are nice. Follow the Twitch page. I don't know what else. Oh God,
We'll see
there's
you
so-
Saturday.
See you Saturday,
See you
guys.
Saturday.
Yeah, definitely come out and hang out. Cheap drinks.
And lots of Warhammer.
Lots
Yep.
of Warhammer.
All
Roll
right.
dice.
If you're not rolling ones, you're cheating.
Good night.
Ooh, there it is. Adios.
If you listen to YouTubers, so just politely click the
Just
like
make
button.
sure to